Hello, I remembered my YouTube password. I'm back. Today we're gonna be looking at farms again. I love farms in this game. They can be so much fun, and I think more people should get into designing and creating these bad boys because they are a lot of fun. But today we're gonna be looking at the top five fastest farms in the game. How quickly can you accumulate a type of resource. We're not going to be looking at like usefulness because I'll admit a lot of these farms are like beyond useless, and the rates at which you get the item, you'd never need this many items ever. Like you just get a ridiculous amount of items um, per second, and yeah, it should be exciting. This list is subjective, so if you think there's a faster farm in the game, just shout, because I'd love to see them. Um, but yeah, we're going to be avoiding kind of glitches like transmutation, where you can spawn 1,000,000 zeniths per second, um, stupid glitches, such as the crystal shard dupin glitch. You know, it's just less cool and interesting. We're going to be using just purely vanilla game mechanics that you can build in your world if you have the time or the energy. But yeah, let's just get right into it. At number 5 on our list, we have the Humble Gnome Farm. It's pretty simple design. Essentially, you are teleporting gnomes to this area here where they're instantly destroyed, and you collect them. It's pretty intuitive design. You just have a bunch of teleporters underneath the living wood wall, and the gnomes are instantly teleported to the spawning area where they're immediately destroyed, allowing more gnomes to spawn. It's very quick, as living wood walls only allow 3 types of NPCs to spawn. It's the bunnies, the squirrels, and the gnomes. The bunnies and squirrels, may they rest in peace, are instantly killed by this little dart trap battery. Sorry about that. And the gnomes are immediately teleported. You get some gold ones too here and there, but anything for gnomes, sacrifices must be made. And yeah, it's all made by this dummy engine, which sends a pulse every tick to teleport the gnomes to the player. The maximum spawn rate is achieved by using the underground desert biome, with a water candle and some unsafe walls. This gives you an average rate of 1 spawn every second, which is pretty good. It's all right. It's all right. I think we can do better than that. But how do we do better than that? You'll see that I'm at the dungeon with the old man, but if I ignore the old man, his warnings, and I head down here, hopefully with some sort of spawn rate, you'll notice these guys come in pretty quickly, from all over the place. They spawn in like any other mob, but they spawn in at quite a high rate. Even though there's not many spawning spaces open, they spawn in very, very quickly. How do we utilize this? As you might remember, the only things that can spawn in front of living wood walls are gnomes, bunnies, and squirrels above ground, not dungeon guardians. So if you have some dungeon brick here, and you stand underground with an artificial dungeon biome, these are unsafe walls, in a pre-Skeletron world, you can get a very high spawn rate. the game is constantly trying to spawn in dungeon guardians, but the only thing it can spawn, because of the living wood walls, are gnomes and bunnies and squirrels. So you're getting a rate that's around 6 times faster than a standard non-glitchy version of this farm. So you get a huge amount of gnomes. So what exactly is the rate for this farm? For the desert biome, you're getting around 40 gnomes per minute, which translates to 2,400 gnomes per hour, which is very good. It's respectable. But with this one, you're getting around 195 per minute, which is 11,700 gnomes per hour. Which it made it make the list. It's very fancy. This glitch with dungeon walls can be done with living wood walls as well as unsafe spider walls. Which, if you want a lot of spiders very quickly, you can use that as well. This can be very helpful when making a Mappy's coin farm. You can see how quickly the black recluses are being spawned in. So you have to spend less time waiting for, these spiders to spawn in to get your, 200 enemies over there. We're already at 79. We've been running it for a few moments. This is a slightly modified version that I made myself because I hate following tutorials. Yeah. For the next fastest farm, we're going to be talking about crystals. Yeah. You can make some pretty fast crystal farms. Like this one. It's very quick. It's, I hate it because it's so quick. But this is a glitch-free video. I thought I said, and yes, it is a glitch-free video, and I'm going to show you that this is actually not the fastest crystal shard farm you can make. This is a bunch of crap. This gets you around 60 per second, or 218,000 crystal shards per hour, which is just not good enough. It's so much effort to make, and it's not easy at all. Let's find something without glitches, and which is hopefully a little bit easier to build than this. Okay, so this is kind of the farm. I think it's a little bit more effort to build, but at the end of the day, I think it'll be worth it. Because you're going to be getting, more crystal shards per hour. Yeah, I think, worth the effort to build this thing. So this is the farm working in all of its glory. It it uses a lot of resources, I will admit that. And you should probably never actually build this. This is horrifying. As you can see, I copied and pasted this in, just one module after the other. But it does actually beat crystal duping. Not on a normal world. On a normal world, it's still slower with 190,000 crystal shards per hour. But on a don't dig up world, where the update rate in the underground for things that grow is a lot faster than in regular worlds. So in a don't dig up world, you're getting 360,000 crystal shards per hour, which smashes the last crystal duping, which I think is very, very cool. And it is super satisfying to watch it run. All the crystal shards being collected like this. But yeah, it's fantastic. If you believe it or not, the third fastest farm in the game is a simple wood farm. Um, Specifically palm wood. Um, in Celebration MK10 seeds, hence the blue sand, every palm tree drops 3 times as much wood as it would usually drop. And you can see by how fast the wood the wood is going up in my inventory that this farm is no joke. Palm trees also have an advantage as they naturally grow quite tall by themselves. So if each tile drops 3 times as amount of wood than usual, and they're also very tall trees just generally, you're going to be getting a load of wood. Secondly, palm trees have, they're able to grow very close to each other, so the farm can be very dense. You can get a lot more farm for your buck than a usual one. This farm actually works out to around 116 wood per second, or 420,000 wood per hour. And it's not just palm wood you can do this with, as you can corruptify or crimsonify each of these types, and it will still drop 3 times the amount of wood. So you can use it with ebon wood, pearl wood, and shade wood as well. So yeah, this takes a little while. It's a little fiddly to place down all this wood. I'm also not at the optimum speed. It is a little tough. 5 miles per hour. That's it. The optimum speed to cut down every single tree. To reach this maximum rate, you're going to need a huge farm, as it just takes quite a while for them, obviously, to regrow. So you're just going to need to make a huge farm, loop around with teleporters, and you should get that 420,000 wood per hour. I don't know what you could use that for. If you really like wood, I guess go for it. But yeah, something so simple can have such a high efficiency is insane to me. Okay, well that was pretty dull. Just like a tree farm. It's it's boring, I know, but the numbers don't lie. That was very fast. Let's go and see something a little more interesting. It's cobweb farm. Now this doesn't look like a standard cobweb farm. Like, where do you grow the cobwebs? And yeah, that's a good point. Let me show you. So this is how the farm works, essentially. These black recluses actually fire webs at you, and the webs form actual cobwebs. So you can collect a huge amount of these, 36 of them, in separate chambers, so that they all spawn cobwebs around them, and you're getting a maximal sort of rate, so they're not all just spawning cobwebs on top of each other. And then you harvest them with dart traps, and that's essentially it. The black recluses are put into 4 separate spawn chambers, using this simple shift to register circuit, and you just spawn them in. Maximum amount of enemies you can have is 36. Although there are probably ways to make this a lot faster. I threw this together very quickly, but using coin saving, you can get up to 200 of these black recluses in one spot. And if you found a way to spread them all out where they can all have line of sight and see you, you can probably beat this farm quite easily. But still, this farm is the second fastest farm in the game, with 630,000 cobwebs per hour, which, you know, is more than you would ever need for anything. How many cobwebs per minute? Per second is 175 cobwebs per second. But yeah, I'd love to see someone try and beat this design. I haven't seen anyone do it yet, but it's very, very possible. And now the moment you've all been waiting for, number one. How can we get faster for 600,000 items per hour? And of course, it's a statue farm. Let's have a look at these. Well, you turn this on, and voila, you're getting more granite than you know what to do with. Lots of night vision helmets, and lots of geodes, which, you know, can be smashed for gems. Very, very cool farm. Very, very quick. And yeah, let's have a look at how it's wired. This is the collection area. And this is the machine itself. It's just a bunch of statues connected to shift registers, spawning in 10 golems per tick, which is 600 per second. And yeah, 600 per second. And, you know, you're getting so much granite. It works out to be 3.2 million granite per hour, which is very cool. This is basically tied with two other types of farms. The slime farm, which gets you an unbelievable amount of gel very, very quickly. You know, 3.2 million as well. And thirdly, the hoplite farm, which also gets you 3.2 million javelins per hour, which is insane. But the actual fastest farm is going to have to be a tie between the hoplite farm and the granite golem farm. This is due to luck. Luck can actually play a huge role in making these farms a lot more efficient. Whereas in a slime farm, it doesn't help at all. Because with a slime farm, the slime already has 100% chance of dropping 1 to 2 gel. And so with luck, you can't really get better than a 100% chance of dropping this gel. But with a granite golem farm and a hoplite farm, there isn't a 100% chance of dropping the javelin or the or the granite block, due to like the scaling of the statue enemies drops. So with a value of 1 luck, the maximum value you can get, you can actually get over 6 million items per hour from these farms, which, you know, kind of beat that. 6 million items. I don't know what you'd ever use this for, but that's not the point of this video. The point of this video is to showcase some, you know, silly contraptions that produce ludicrous amounts of items per hour. And I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, I enjoyed designing these farms, so subscribe, like, whatever you want to do. Do whatever.